It's your boy football time. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. 26 tips and tricks you need to know in college football. 26. Yes, sir. Man, oh man, before I get into this, I want to say happy Friday to all you guys out there. This is my second recording. This is my second reaction for today. So I'm ready to hop into this. I'm not going to do too much more talking. I'm going to get my thoughts and opinions and pause every once in a while. I'm going to try not pause too much, but if it's something that I want to elaborate on or tell my own experience, I will. And sit back, relax, and let's jump into this. Let's go. Shout out Eric Rayweather once again.
Over the 26 best tips and tricks you need to start winning more games in college football 26. Starting with number 1, take your underneath routes. They are really good in this year's game. So let me show you what I'm talking.
I can't believe I'm already pausing in 12 seconds. One thing that really frustrates me. It's frustrated me for a couple years now. Why can't people take the underneath routes? Why is it so hard to take the sure first down or the sure 5 yards? Not everything is gonna be not everything is gonna be a touchdown. Okay? We have to get out of that mindset of everything has to be a touchdown for it to be a good play. Exhibit A, Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. He was a king at check down. He was check down Charlie, whatever. He was all that. And guess how many Super Bowl rings he got? More than your favorite team. Because he understood that not everything is going to be a deep ball. It doesn't need to be. If the deep ball is there, yeah, sure, you can take it. But it's okay to take them little 5 yards. Because guess what? That could be the difference between you're winning that game and you're losing that game. It can also be a difference between you having to buy a new controller, a new TV, a new screen, or you're just being happy eating some pizza and drinking you some Mountain Dew. So, take it as you
Talking about whether they're in zone, whether they're in man, things like drag routes are always going to be a really nice go-to because zone drifts too far back and it leaves them wide open. Basically, what you want is you want some deeper routes that are going to pull those zones back, and then that way your drags can be underneath and you could catch them and get upfield for some easy yards. But don't worry, I'm going to tell you how to stop these later in the video, but most players will not adjust their defense to do this, so you should take advantage. Another good underneath route are going to be flat routes to your running back. You can pick up some easy yards underneath, get 4 to 5.
running back is my best friend for sure.
And with the way block shed is in this game, you just want to make sure that you're getting these quick passes off. You do not want to be holding the ball too long because that's where you give up sacks. Look at this replay, for example.
There's a lot of people that do that too. Hold on way too long.
If I didn't take my quick underneath route, this would have easily been a sack, or I would have been hit as I was throwing, and that could have led to an interception. And another good thing about underneath routes like drag, especially in a mesh concept right here, where you have 2 of them going in opposite directions, is that these can be really good man beaters because they set up a natural pick, which helps these routes get open. So make sure you're using underneath routes like drags and halfback routes to move the ball. Number 2, make sure to manage your wear and tear. As wear and tear
I talked
builds
about
up
this on
throughout the game,
TikTok.
your players will become injury prone.
Make sure you follow me up there, by the way.
So
I will be following you back.
To do this, for number 1 with your QB, try to take as least hits as possible. So if you're scrambling, you make sure to slide by pressing the X or square button. Also, try to get out of bounds with your running back when possible instead of taking those hits. And you can also manage your wear and tear in the middle of the game by pressing up on the D-pad before you snap the ball. It'll pull up a sub-menu which will tell you your player's current ratings, if they have any wear and tear damage on a body part, and you could sub them in and out just like this to keep them rotated and keep them fresh. Number 3, how to utilize speed options. So in your playbook, you want to tab over to concept, you want to go down to option, and then you want to tab over to speed options. Pretty much every playbook should have at least one of these. Now the great thing about
I've
speed
never
options
been
are they're
really
an easy
good
way to
at the
move ball,
option
and
thing,
the average person just does not know how
'cause
to
I
stop
always
them.
be
But I will
forgetting the
tell you how you
button.
could stop it in a little bit. Basically, all you want to do is just read how the defense is playing you. Typically, they're going to clamp down on the QB, so you're going to want to hold the LB or L1 button down, and it's going to do a strong pitch.
This was
to
the
your running
meta
back.
in
This is gonna be hard to
25,
stop if
one
they're
of them
not
at least.
manually going out there to defend the running back, or if they're not using coaching adjustments to help stop it. So this is something I recommend mixing in to pick up easy yardage, especially in big situations where you need to pick up some key first downs. Now, in the event that they do defend the running back, you just want to keep it with the QB and pick up yards that way. Number 4, important settings you need to have turned on. So you can go to your game
okay.
settings on the main menu. And two very
look at
important ones you
LSU.
always want to make sure you have turned on are defensive ball hawk. This is going to help you get more interceptions.
Yeah,
and
I learned
defensive
this
heat
in
seeker assist. This is usually off by default.
Madden
Make sure you turn it
22.
on and make sure you put your heat seeker window size up to 200%. This will greatly help assist you in making tackles, and this game can be very hard to make open field tackles in, so you want to make sure this is turned on. Hey, if you're getting value out of this video, why don't you go ahead, subscribe, turn the bell icon on. That way you can get the best tips and tricks all year long to help dominate in college football 26. It helps the channel out a lot, and you can always unsub at any time if you get tired of the videos. Number 5, important coaching adjustments. When you're at the play call screen on defense, you want to press the right stick in, and that's going to pull up your coaching adjustments. Now, they do have offensive coaching adjustments as well, but those aren't nearly as important as your defensive ones. You want to make sure auto flip defensive play call is on. You want to make sure your cornerback matchups are on balance. Otherwise, they could glitch out. That's something they should fix soon, though. But the main ones I want to talk about are these keys right here. These are the ones you must set every single game. So option read key, you need this on conservative. Otherwise, you're going to get beat by easy read options. So I'm going to put this back on balanced, and let me show you what happens. If I leave that read option setting on balanced and my opponent goes to run a read option, a lot of the time, he's going to have the quarterback wide open for easy yards for big gains. Whereas now I'm going to put it on conservative, and you'll see if I try to pull the ball with the QB, I'm going to lose yards every time. Now for your option pitch key, you want this set to aggressive. Remember just a minute ago when I was showing you how easy it was to run speed options? Well, if you set this to aggressive, now when you try to run the option, if you pitch it to the running back, the defender is going to play that much more aggressively, and you'll lose yards. And for your RPO keys, you want to make sure that the read key is set to conservative and the pass key is set to conservative.
Players,
this is going
watch
to help you
this
better
right now.
RPO read plays. So if they try to run a read option, the RPO read key on conservative will hit the quarterback in the backfield. And if they try to throw flats or bubble screens, this RPO pass key set to conservative will better help you defend that as well. It won't be 100% of the time, but it's going to be your best bet. All of your other coaching adjustments are completely situational, and I would leave them at default. But that brings us to number 6, safety adjustments. These can be useful in certain situations. My favorite time to use these adjustments are versus players that like to run the ball a lot. So what I will do versus a heavy runner is I will put my safety depth on close, and I will put my safety width on pinch. Now I'm only doing this typically if I'm expecting the run. Otherwise, I want to make sure these are back on default because they will defend the pass better that way. But let's look at close and let's look at pinch versus the run. Now, when defending the run, typically I want to pick any type of a cover 4 play. So it can be cover 4 quarters, cover 4 drop, cover 4 palms. It doesn't matter. But cover 4 by default is going to be a good run defense, but also it can defend against the pass if they were to hit us with a pass play instead. Now, the other key to remember here when you're coming out with this cover 4 is you want to shade your defense down every time, which is Y or triangle and then down on the right stick. But notice where my safeties are. Notice how they're lined up in tight and they're pretty close. If this was standard settings, they would kind of be further back like this, and that would just have them a lot further out of the play. But because we have them on the close and the tight or pinch, they're going to be in close like this, and that is going to help us greatly with defending the run because they are in run fits. That means they're going to get down there and take up blockers. But with them being closer in the box like this, it just really makes it hard for running lanes to open up. Hey, really quickly, I did want to mention.
Hold on. I'm not the only one that's hearing this background music, right? It's like I'm ascending to heaven or something. Like what? It's very like am I tripping? Threw me all that
I do offer a membership where I post all of my ebooks and my highest level offensive and defensive strategies. I've got a ton of content up already, and you can get a free trial for a week at no cost to you. Link is in the pinned comment below. Number 7, understanding match coverage. This is something that most people do not know about, and then they get confused while their defense seems to be glitching out. So you'll notice when you scroll through your
I'm not a
plays in your
defensive
playbook,
guy,
there are little tags on the bottom left corner. So right here, for example, we can see the cover 9 show 2. If we look in the bottom left corner, there's a little purple tag that says match. Now right here, we can see the middle play cover 3 cloud that says zone. So why this is important is because anytime something says match, even though it looks like a zone coverage, for example here, cover 4 quarters on the right or cover 3 match on the left, they both say match. That means even though this looks like zone, there are matching principles, which means those deep zones are going to match up and play man at some point during the play based on the formation and the routes. So you need to make sure if you want your players to play zone, you're not calling cover 3 match or cover 4 quarters,
so they're going to basically
instead,
like a dynamic switch.
Call a cover 3 sky here on the left. See how that says zone? That means they're going to play zone and they're not going to move out of that assignment. Right here we see cover 4 drop field. That is a zone cover 4, meaning they're going to stay in those zones. However, there are other ways you can make them play zone. So for example, if I call cover 4 quarters, there's something I could do on the field to take away the matching principle and have them just play zone. I can either shade my defense down, which is Y, or triangle down on the right stick, which I like to do in a lot of my cover 4s and cover 3s anyway, because I think the hard flats are better than the cloud flats. Or I can shade them up if I don't want them playing aggressively underneath. I could go Y or triangle and then up on the right stick. Doing either of those things will cancel the matching principles, and that means everybody will play straight zone defense. And another very important note to consider with match coverage is if you're running a cover 3 blitz, like this play here in the middle, the overload 3 seam, it says blitz in the bottom left-hand corner there because it is a blitz, but do keep in mind, typically when you're running a zone blitz, the coverage behind the zone blitz, especially in cover 3s, are going to play match. So once again, if you want to cancel that, shade your defense down or up if you still want to run the blitz, but you want them playing standard cover 3 style coverage. Number 8, utilize zig route. So this play right here in the bottom left corner, dig return, the B receiver here is on a zig route. These are very good
the
because
zig route
and
and 26
and they do a good job at finding holes against zone.
Really,
so this
really
is a
good.
route you're going to want to be utilizing a lot
killer.
in this game.
Look at
Against
this.
zone, you're usually going to have windows like this where you can pick up 5 easy yards. And against man coverage, especially
And don't
if you have a
wait
good
on it.
receiver,
As soon
these
as
are
he hit
gonna
that
do a really
break,
good
bam,
job
put
at
it on
beating
him.
the man defender, and you can catch them and run for big yards. But the good thing about this route is you can hot route it as well. So you can press Y or triangle, select the receiver icon, and then on the D-pad you will see a zig option. Typically, I like to do this for an inside receiver because it usually creates the better spacing that way. So whether it's man or zone, a lot of times this is going to be something you can quickly throw, and you should incorporate these on as many plays as possible. Number 9, how to stop corner routes. This can be a pain for a lot of people. Basically, you'll see bunch sets like this where people want to send a streak, a corner, and a flat, which is a good flood concept versus zone coverages. But if you don't make any adjustments, well, the corner is going to get open for big yards, and honestly, most of the time, it should because you're flooding the zone. Now, to stop this, what you want to do is you want to open your coaching adjustments on defense by clicking the right
Anybody
stick,
that plays
and you
against
wanna
me,
go
do
down
not
to
watch this
your
part.
zone drops. Now,
Just skip
remember,
it.
I said these are situational. You're only going to turn these on in a situation like this where you're trying to stop something specific. So you've got a couple options here. You can set your zone drop flats to 25 yards, and then what you would want to do is call a Tampa 2 or a cover 2 style defense. So now you can see your light blue curl flats on the outside. Look how they are dropping far back. So now if I try to hit this same corner route, as you see,
yeah, they
DB
all
is
the
back
way
there to make a play on the ball. Now, of course, this will leave your flat open, but you're giving up the deeper route in order to give up the shorter route. You'd rather give that up than to give up 20 plus yards. But if you want to mitigate that flat route, you can simply take this guy here on the outside and you can drop him into a curl flat. So you would press A or X and then go right on the left stick. That's going to put him in a curl flat, which will still allow you to get some yards in the flat, but you could see it's a lot less. So now you've taken away both options. Number 10, utilize running back routes. This is one of the best ways to move the ball.
Oh my goodness.
Now,
I'm so glad he's bringing this up.
Running back on a Texas route, which you do by pressing Y or triangle, select his icon.
I want to make this very clear. Your running back is more than just a running back. Okay? You can him like he's literally there. You can throw to him. You can have him protect you. You don't just have to run the ball with your running back. Now, if you are a team that's more of just the normal run and throw, keep my running back in for extra protection, okay. But for the ones out there that is not like that, throw to your running back. Please. Don't just you will see you boy. Oh my goodness. I have seen countless videos of people playing and their running back is wide open and they are staring down the running back, but they gonna throw it all the way across here and then get interception and then cry that, oh, the game is broken.
And then up on the D-pad. This is a great route because it beats man, but it also gets underneath zone. So if they're not playing aggressive with their zones, which most people don't, this is just an easy pitch and catch underneath for easy yards. And again, against
especially if your running back got a little bit of speed on him too, like
easy yards. Another great option is the triple option route. This is going to be the best of both worlds too, because against most zones, what it's going to do is it's just going to spot up underneath like this, and the deep routes will pull the other zones back, and it's easy yards
wide open.
But against a man defense, what it's going to do is it's going to release in or out, and that's going to also do a good job at beating man coverage. So you want to utilize these two running back routes to help you move the ball. Number 11, use custom route stems. There's a couple ways to use these that are very, very good. So number one, we're going to go back to that streak corner flat concept that we just talked about when I showed you how to stop it. A better way to run this is to actually use route stemming. So you can stem your corner route down, which will help it get to a spot on the field quicker and make it a little bit harder to defend. So to do this, you press the Y or triangle button, you select the player's icon, which in our case is RB, and then the route stem, you have to hold down the LB or L1 button, and then you can move the left stick up or down to stem this route wherever you want. Now, what we want to do with the corners is stem them all the way down. This is going to make them break to the outside much quicker, and this really puts them in a spot on the field sometimes that can be tough to defend. Play around with stemming them down and find that sweet spot where you like it, because usually when you stem these corner routes
I do
shorter,
like that they
really
add the stemming for offense as well.
Another great way to utilize this is with slot post routes. Now, the good thing about the corners and the post is that you can hot route both of these. So what you want to do is hot route them if they're not already in your play. And then again, you want to stem the post all the way down. And this is a really good concept here where if you're in a bunch set like this, for example, on your outside, you could have like a streak, and then you have a drag underneath, and then a stemmed post over top. And this creates a really good flood concept that can beat pretty much any zone in the game for big yards. But the stem down post also does a really good job at torching man coverage as well. So you want to utilize both of these in your offense. Number 12, go for swats in one-on-one situations. This year, the one-on-one ball is a lot better, and you can get some crazy catches. So what you want to do is go for the swat. Notice right there how we got
that right there is big important.
That's just going to happen in this year's game. That is an intentional change. So what you want to do is click on, you want to get in position and go for a swat.
Swatting is, I mean, sometimes it's better than trying to go for the pick.
Button on Xbox or the square button on PlayStation. You've got a much better chance at breaking the pass up with the swat this year versus going for the pick, which will have them catching that 50-50 ball a good amount of the time. Number 13, shading
nice
your
little
defense.
animation.
When you're on the field, you can press Y or triangle, and then on the right stick, you have the ability to shade over top, underneath, inside, or outside. But my favorite time to use this is when I'm trying to stop those underneath routes that I talked about earlier, like drags or flats. Typically, I'm going to want to do this out of a cover 3 or cover 4 style defense because it still gives me deep zones to protect deep. However, you can do this out of a cover 2 as well. It's just going to be a lot more aggressive. Now, right here, I'm going to play standard coverage and show you just like I did earlier. If we play standard, you can hit these drags underneath and you can catch and run for big yards. But now I'm going to shade underneath, and you'll notice it'll even put hard flats on the field to show you that you have shaded underneath. Your two hook curls in the middle right here will also play a little bit more aggressive as well. And now if I try to throw this drag route, notice how the defense is there and they clamp down on it and force a breakup. Number 14, coverage shells. This right here can take your defense to another level. So when you open up a formation, so for example, we're going to open up the nickel over. When you have it open on the right stick, there's an option. You can see it all the way to the right. It says shell. And you can flick the right stick up or down and you can change your coverage shell. Now, what this means is whatever you set it to, that's how your defense is going to line up. So to me, the best one to use is cover 2. You set this to cover 2, and no matter what defense you call, they will line up as if they're in a cover 2 every time. So even if I call a cover 3 sky right here, you will see we have 2 high safeties and the outside cornerbacks are lined up 5 yards off the wide receivers. Why this is good is because if you are lining up the same way every play, it makes it hard for a better player to diagnose exactly what coverage you're in, because this looks like a cover 2, but we're actually in a cover 3. Number 15, quick sliding. This is a new mechanic in the game for your offensive line. Typically to do a offensive line
adjust
slide,
your
you have to hit
offensive
LB or
line and
L1,
stuff.
and then you do have a bunch of options here that you can do, but
This is
takes a little bit
something
longer, and
that
sometimes you need
I
to make
feel
a
like
quick
I do
adjustment
on
at the last
accident.
second. Well, if I want to slide right or left, I can do that quickly now with my quick slide. So for example, if I saw them just kind of loading up everything to this side right here, and I'm thinking, maybe they're rushing off that edge for some reason, I might want to slide my line to the right because clearly they're loading up heavier there. So I could do a half slide by just flicking the right analog stick to the right once, and you'll see now the line's in a half slide. If I want to do a full slide, I flick the right stick to the right twice really quickly. Now we're in a full slide. And again, if I want to go left, same way. Once to the left is a half slide, twice to the left is a full slide. So here I'm going to slide to the right, and I am going to just make sure that I pick up any pressure that's coming there, and now I can deliver a pass. Make sure to use this if you're going to be slide protecting, because it's much quicker to do it this way. Number 16, how to create a flat route. So in this year's game, there is no way to hot route a flat anymore because they changed up some of the hot route options. However, when you have a tight end that is lined up in tight, you can hot route him to a wheel route this year by pulling up your hot routes and then selecting the wheel option, so we can see that's left on the
tight end to me is still like the most undefeated person on the field.
He basically runs a flat route. So this kind of gives us 2 routes in one. He can go up the field later in the play, but if we hit him early in the play, we've now created a flat route in a game where they don't have dedicated flat routes. So if you're trying to create a flat route out of a formation this year, utilize the tight end wheel. That will give you a decent option to create a flat route that you can use to pick up some good yards underneath. Number 17, don't spam the right trigger. I talk about this every single year, but it's very important. When running the ball especially, you do not want to hold the right trigger behind the line of scrimmage. A lot of people
This right here, I gotta shout out everybody on TikTok, okay? I pretty much responded to all the comments on TikTok. Did not think it was gonna get that many views, so I want to say thank you for that. But man, the amount of people that have told me like it worked when you don't hold the RB button. It took me a little minute too, okay? So I'm not here to judge or anything, but this right here is one of the sole reasons why we have broken controllers and we have people saying, I can't run the ball in these games because of this.
People do this and then they wonder why are they not running the ball successfully, and that's because when you hold right trigger you get to spots quicker than you're supposed to, and also it does trigger faster block sheds like this. So you always want to just be maneuvering with the left stick and get into the open hole,
especially online players.
The right trigger when you're in the open field, like right here. Now I'm in the open field, I'm trying to pull away for as many yards as possible. This is also important for your QB in the pocket. Sometimes people start to hold down the right trigger when they're in the pocket because honestly it is just a force of habit, and this causes quicker block
Yeah,
sheds.
that's true.
You only want to be holding down that right trigger once you're definitely taking off with the QB. But when you're standing in the pocket, make sure your finger is off of that button. Otherwise, that's going to cause quicker block shedding as well. Number 18, D-line stunts. This is a new feature to this game, and they're actually pretty useful. Typically, you're going to want to do it with a 4-down lineman set like this, where you have the 4-down lineman rushing. So to pull up your stunts, you can press left on the D-pad, then press the RB or R1 button.
I probably wouldn't do it because I probably will forget.
Now, 2 that are really good
it's really cool to see.
Be the right text to man, which typically is on the second page, but it can be different depending on your team and formation. But look for right text to man. Go into practice mode with the team that you use and see where this is so you can learn how to set this up quicker. And what this does is it's going to loop the outside guy on the right. Now, it's not going to come in every time, but without protection, like from a running back or something, he's usually going to loop into the middle, and even if he doesn't come free, it's going to help block sheds happen quicker. Here's an example of what it looks like when it comes through clean, and this will happen a decent amount of the time. Another good stunt option is going to be the Texas 4-man. Again, go in your playbook in practice mode and figure out where it is so it's easy for you to get to. This is going to be more aggressive with both outside guys looping in. And again, sometimes they're just going to come free. This does work better in game than in practice mode. But also, it's still going to rush them inside, which is going to make it hard for QBs to step up into the pocket. And it's going to be hard to run on this as well. As you can see, they're stunning to the inside. And just look at the block shed, how quick it happens.
Yeah,
Even
that
if they
was
don't come
quick.
free, they still help get other guys free. Number 19, utilize RPOs. So in your playbook, you want to go to concept, you want to go to
RPOs.
option, and you want to look at RPO read. These
I
are
don't
going
think
to
I
be some
never
of the best
like
ones in the game, and what you
like
want to
actually
look for are
did
ones
like RPOs like
RPO
that.
read Y flat that has a tight end going on a flat, or one that has some type of a bubble screen of sorts. Usually you're going to want to find a bubble screen like here, the RPO read bubble that has multiple blockers. Both of these are going to be really good options because unless you know exactly what you're doing, the average person is not going to be able to defend
I
these
always
plays because you can hand it off
accidentally
to the running back,
go with
but
the
real
running
great
back.
thing about these plays is the ability to throw these bubbles or flat routes. Now let's take a look at the RPO read Y flat. This one's going to be the best one in the game. A lot of people
damn.
like to use this play because it simply is hard to stop. You have the element of running the ball, but a lot of times the defense is not going to defend these flats or these bubble screens. Now to defend this, you
Yeah,
want to
that definitely
man
would've got
somebody
me.
up on the route that you think is going out. But like I said, it could be the tight end. Sometimes it can be the slot. But typically, if you do that, as long as that guy doesn't get blocked, he should get out there and at least make a play on the ball. So that is something to be mindful of. Number 20, how to score when you're close to the end zone. Now, of course, you can run the ball,
okay,
you
now
can
you
use
talking my
RPOs,
language,
use
how to
speed
score in the
options,
red
we talked about all
zone.
those, but sometimes you need to pull out a pass. So a tried and true method is you want to do something like this. You want the outside receiver here, the X receiver, on some type of a curl, and then you do want to route stem him down, which we've talked about earlier. You want
Or
to
you
route
can
stem
go
him
with
down to
crossing
where
routes
he's
as
more of a
well.
hitch route. Then you want some type of a slant coming from the other side of the field. So right here, the tight end on a slant working with the X hitch. Now for this, you know, I just block the running back or just get him out of the way. And against zone coverage, the majority of the time, what's going to happen is you're going to have a window to hit this slant just like
Got
this.
him.
So you want to be on the short side of the field, and that's going to do a good job the majority of the time.
You just gotta be
zone
patient
defense
with
close
it
to the end zone
and time
for
it right.
crucial touchdowns. Number 21, how to stop the QB sneak.
QB
The QB sneak
sneak.
can be annoying because it's almost guaranteed to get the yards you need on a 3rd and inches or a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, that's
what you want to
true.
do is go to goal line. You want to go over to the goal line 5-3, and you want to select goal line man. This will probably work out of any of the plays, honestly, but I think goal line man is the best option. What you want to do is pinch your D line, which is left on the D-pad, down on the left stick, and then you want to also crash them down, left on the D-pad,
get them
down on the
all
right
like
stick.
kind of
This
close
right here,
together.
also, you can
Muddy
get here
it
with
up
your
a little
users to
bit.
help out. This should blow up the QB sneak the
God
majority of the time.
damn. As soon as he hiked the
22,
ball, it was gone.
manage your depth chart. So at the main menu, you want to go to rosters. You want to click on order depth chart. You can do this here and it'll stay set like this for when you jump into online games. Now, why this is crucial is because a lot of teams have guys that are lower on the depth chart that have a lot of speed and sometimes even have good abilities. So LSU, for example, they have a wide receiver with 98 speed. Now, in video games, speed is going to be one of your best attributes. It's not everything, but it
boy
does
got
help a lot. So you
98
may
speed.
want to have him as one of your starting receivers because if a guy's that fast, you want to get him on the field.
That
Now here
is
with
true.
Alabama, there's a really good example. If you scroll down to the 4th receiver spot, you have a 95 speed guy that also has platinum shifty, one of the best abilities in the game. This means with the left stick, he is going
And
to
he got
stop
one
and
of the
cut
best
on a
abilities.
dime, and he is going to be hard to tackle. Pair that with 95 speed, you definitely want him starting over Isaiah Horton. Yes, I realize that he's 8 overall better, but 95 speed plus platinum shifty is so much better than 89 speed and the abilities he has. You want this guy on your field. Number 23, abilities. We just talked about this, so let's go more in depth about this.
I like that the abilities
just
are
as
not
important as
guaranteed
ratings
to
in this
work.
game. So for example, if we're looking at QBs, Garrett Nussmeier here, he has platinum on time and silver dot. You want to notice this for QBs. Things like on time and dot are going to prevent from inaccurate passes. If you don't have these abilities, you're going to have a lot more inaccurate passes. So you might want to make sure you're using a quarterback that has those. For running backs, you want to look at things like shifty, sidestep, and 360. Those are going to help you with faking taking out defenders. For wide receivers, shifty and takeoff are going to be some of the best ones in the game. With takeoff, it's hard to press a guy or play him one-on-one, especially if he's fast.
Okay, so you press, it's going to be over for you.
When it comes to pass rushers, you're going to want to look for guys that have things like quick jump, duress, and pocket disruptor. Those are going to help you on the defensive line. So you may have a guy like we just talked about previously.
Because can't you bat down the football on the D-line now?
But he might have quick jump, which means he'll actually rush the passer maybe a little bit better than that starter will. When you're looking at cornerbacks, things like jammer and blanket coverage are going to make them lock down in man. That's why LSU is so good with man coverage, because they have two guys that have blanket coverage.
I hope it's like that in real life as well.
Number 24, how to deal with Stadium Pulse. Now, Stadium Pulse is more turned up this year than ever. It's hard to hot route, it's hard to audible, and things
buddy.
like that.
That's how it is in real life, though.
So in order to quiet
so I like it. I know some people, they don't like the whole Stadium Pulse, but I think it's a great feature.
Reads, for example, these are good plays,
especially
that are
at
hard to
night.
defend, and you can see on the first play, we're picking up easy yards. Now, on the next play here, the Pulse is still rocking. It's a short yardage situation. Let's hand the ball off.
I mean, it's LSU is always rocking.
Extra work. Let's hand it off, read our blocks. Don't spam the turbo button, and you see we got good yards. It's LSU,
you heard that?
so
Don't spam the turbo button, ladies and gentlemen.
Are not going to be as hard to deal with, but LSU is the #1 in the game, so it's going to be tough. Now we're going speed options.
I mean, it's
so
Tiger
basically,
Stadium.
we're running plays
now, if this was night,
a chance to pick up easy yards, but we don't have to make any adjustments. Remember, we talked about underneath
that stadium supposed to be
things right now that doesn't
my
require
good.
us to change
You
our
probably
play too
wouldn't
much,
be able to
because
see them
right now,
lines,
we're
these
not
little
gonna be able to do
squiggle
it.
lines right now.
You can usually get one hot route off if you do it over and over. So you want to break the huddle quick, and you can usually get one hot route off. But at the beginning of the game, especially when it's rocking, you need to just control the game and do these simple things that can help you pick up yards without having to hot route.
I ain't gonna lie, 84
so again, here,
left shoulder might be out of
situation.
socket.
We're going inside zone. I'm not looking to get too complicated or extra on offense until I have quieted down that Stadium Pulse. And the more yards you pick up, the more you'll eventually quiet
just
them down.
slow
Again,
and steady.
LSU,
Just
so
grind it out.
Harder, but my goal here is to just do the simple, easy stuff that's going to allow us to eventually quiet that crowd down, and that's how you have to play against Stadium Pulse. Number 25, how to better roll out with your QB. Now, in this game, you can just kind of take off a lot of times if they're not doing anything extra, but if you want to really help your QB rolling out, what you want to do first is slide your offensive line to the side that you want to roll to. So if you're a righty QB, typically you're going to roll right. So we can do the quick slide, which I talked about earlier, which is flicking our right stick to the right twice. Now we have a full slide. And to make this better, what we want to do is also double team the outermost edge rusher. So we do this by pressing LB or L1, going down on the right stick, and then we're going to move this little icon over here. You can see we can move it with our D-pad or our left stick. We're going to put it on the outermost guy that can be rushing, which is this guy on the line. Now, if they happen to be in a blitz or something, that's a different story, but typically this is going to be the guy you have to worry about. And what this does is they slide over, they double team him, and this allows you to easily roll out and break containment. Number 26, how to stop QB rollouts. I know that was the next question. Don't worry, I got you covered. The simple thing to do in this game is you're going to want to put somebody on a QB spy, whether that be a fast linebacker or somebody on the D-line. I'm just going to put this linebacker here. We're going to leave the running back uncovered for this example, but that's okay. So you get on the player you want to put into the spy, you press the A button on Xbox or the X button on PlayStation, and then you're going to go right on the left stick. Now, this guy is going to follow the QB. You definitely want a guy that's got some decent speed here, especially if you're going up against a really fast QB.
like
so
lateral
the same
movement.
thing, the same method we just did to help us better roll out, and what you're going to notice is that spy is going to follow us, and you can see we are not able to outrun
he's the
anybody
shadow.
because the spy was there the whole time. Now that you know about the best tips and tricks in the game, you're halfway.
Okay, well, like that was a lot. Got 26 tips and tricks. If you did not learn from this, or you haven't written down or mentally wrote a note, I don't know what you're doing. You don't want to win. Okay, let's just be honest. You don't want to win, and that's okay. That's okay. But if you do want to win, skim through this, whichever ones apply to you, write it down, take a video of it, whatever you got to do, because I'm telling you, these are going to help you a lot, especially if you're running the ball. I don't want to see any more people use that RB button as soon as they get the handoff. Stop doing it. Stop it. I'm not going to tell you again. If you do that and I see a video of that, it's me and you, brother. Or female, because females play this as well. But it's me and you, okay? You're going to have to answer to me, because I'm tired of this bullshit. I really am. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.